Hi everyone, welcome to a strong and stable exercise video. I'm Kasha.
And I'm Stephanie, but called Steph.
Yep, and today we're going to do about a 40-minute exercise session that follows on from the one we did last time. Last time Steph was mostly standing and I was sitting down, so today I'm going to do most of the standing up. And for those of you who need to sit down, you can follow along with Steph. So before you get going, good thing to check whether you've got laces or not, that your shoes are nice and solid, the laces are tucked away, that you've got a clear space around you. We won't move around too much today, but so long as you've got a little space to do maybe a couple of steps forward and back without rugs and things, or that you're going to run into the person beside you. So check everything's all good, and we'll get going now. You'll probably be better off to standing behind your chair. I'm going to stand here so you can see my feet when you need. I think we can begin.
I think we can begin. And just to add, I might stand up a couple of times on some of the exercises just to show the easier version, doing them standing up. So you don't have to stay seated the whole time. You can come up and down.
Yes, please just choose what works best for you. How's that music, Steph?
A wee bit louder.
Right, a wee bit louder.
Yes, because it's the Beatles.
Right.
Yeah, let's go.
That's good. Woo!
1, 2, 3, 4.
So a little march on the spot. And see if you can be a little bit taller. I'll just give Steph an imaginary lift through the top of her head and me one as well. Notice if as you did that your shoulders creeped up. Let's just do a couple of shoulder rolls to soften the shoulders back and down. Alright. Lovely. We're going to start with a heel dig in a minute. So your right foot's going to dig like you're going into the garden. 3, 2, 1. Right. And left, but quite slow. Purposefully pushing your heel down into the ground, and if you want to work a little bit harder, you really try and lift the leg up and down. Let's do 2 more with the heels, and then we'll try it putting your toes down. So toes instead of heels. Toes. That's it. And especially if you're doing that on the floor, try and pop your foot exactly where it came off from. Very precise. Let's do heels again. 4. You can add the arms if you want, with an up and down like you're digging in the garden. Toes, reaching the opposite arm across. And you can choose if you're doing the arms or not. Let's do that again. Heels. 4. Up and down. Good, dig through the spade. Toes, reach across. How do you reckon we go trying to do that a bit faster? Let's try without the arms. 4. And toes. Oh, it feels rather fast.
Does feel fast.
And again. So just keep doing it slow if you need.
I might go slow.
Alright, and one more time. Toes again. Alright, let's go back to a march. Great. We're going to try and slow this down now. So whenever you're ready, going from one foot to the other, and I'm going to go side on so you can see I'm going toe, heel, toe, heel. So you have to lift the heel a little bit more, so you're working your legs a bit more. Very purposeful. You might even lift the toe a bit higher with the legs working more. Try going heel first. This feels really odd.
Doesn't it?
Heel toe, heel toe. So you keep doing the heel toe, and then we'll go back to the toe heel. Ready? Go toe heel. So when you go toe heel, it's a bit like when you walk when you're going backwards. Heel toe is like when you're coming forwards. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. And going backwards, 4, toe heel. You don't have to move forwards and backwards. And heel toe forwards. I'm just showing you one of the reasons why we're doing this exercise. We'll practice later on when we're marching. Okay, marching a little bit faster now. Let's take a big breath in and reach your arms up. If you need to, hold the chair and just do one arm. We'll do that one more time in case you want to swap arms. Good work. One more shoulder roll. And we'll repeat the heels and the toes, starting with your left foot heel. Back to those big digging arms. And point the toe, reach your arm across.
Wrong arm.
Opposite. Heels. Can you lift the knee a little bit higher? And then point the foot, reach across. Sometimes when you try and do opposite arm, it doesn't work so well, does it? Let's try both arms, keep the toes going.
Oh, that's a bit easier.
That's it. And now back to the march, left foot. Ah, I'm getting rather warm. How's that working with you?
Yeah, I'm all toes.
Warm up is warming up. Well done. All right, we're going to have a go now at practicing the sit to stand exercise. So, just turn that music down a bit. Ooh, well done. Okay, I'm going to turn my side on so you can get another view. Now, many of the exercises we'll do today are repeating what you did in that first class. Some of them will be a little bit new. This one you did last week, so heels steady on the ground. So if you were standing up, come to sitting now. Maybe you use your hands on the chair, on your legs, or in front. If you're not sure, start with them on the chair. Dig strong into your heels, even before you stand up, and just feel that lift right up through the top of your head. All right, when you're ready, step off we go, push into the feet, and come out. And when we go back, feel the back of the chair with your legs, press your bottom back, keep your chest high, and slowly lower yourself to the chair. So if it felt okay holding on to the chair and you think you could do more, you could move your hands to your legs. And we'll try and do about 5 more here. So you don't have to go in time with anyone else. Just keep on moving. All right, pressing the bottom back, slowly sitting down. Right, so as we're going through any of these classes, it's really important that you learn to go at your own pace. Don't feel you have to keep up with anyone else. And if you're feeling really any sense of pain at all, or any sharp sensations, that's a good indication it's time to stop.
What about just tired legs?
Tired legs, well, I'd say you just see if you can do a few more. If you're just really trying to fatigue your muscles a bit more, so then they can grow and get stronger. Have you got tired legs?
They might be tired in my head.
I think I said we did 5 and we've probably done nearly 10. Let's have a stop. Well done. All right, moving on to the next one. I'll just turn that music back on. So we're going to do side steps now. When you're in the chair, Steph can show you not to go too wide, just like when we did these ones last week.
So we
all
don't
right?
want that.
No, you don't want to go too wide. So kind of within the edge of the chair. All right, let's start with the left foot then. Left. And sometimes we change from left to right leg, so you're not always getting one leg more enthusiastic than the other, or stronger than the other. Well, she likes the music loud, doesn't she? All right, so when you're ready, slow step to the left. Left and stop, and then go to the right. Lovely. Okay, so nice and slow. You can choose how much of a groove you get on and if you add any arms. And we're going to start trying to pick up that leg that goes. Imagine you're stepping over something. So you might start just using that one leg to go over. And if that feels okay, maybe you could step both legs high. What are you stepping over? An imaginary cat in the hallway?
No, I'm stepping over a concrete block.
Concrete block. So extra careful.
That I don't scrape the side of my boots.
Stepping over. Lovely. All right, we'll carry on doing 4 more of these. And if all you're managing is just this little one here, that's okay. Try and keep moving. Maybe every now and then you do a bigger one. Nice work. Okay. So again, you'd be probably behind your chair. 1 more of these. And now just stop on the spot, give your toes a little wriggle around. Let's start with the right leg now, and we'll do them a little bit lower. So instead of stepping high, do low. You don't have much choice when you're in the chair, do you? Except you're not lifting your knees.
No, not a lot.
So as I'm standing and I've got quite a bit of space, I can try and add a bigger, wider step. You stay as close to the chair as you need to help for support. Just going to have a go. So I'm okay not needing the chair all the time, but Steph will demonstrate how you can do that holding on more. Okay, so watching my feet now, we're going to add the little hover after each one. Now you don't have to get going if you don't feel you've got your balance. Steph can show you how when you do one, you can pause and wait for a bit, whereas I'm just going to keep going. So you don't have to go in time with us, just feel you've got your balance. That's it. Okay, 2 more of these ones. We're almost sliding across the floor and then a little hover. And then we're going to go back to the stepping over the block. So you might not go as far. Option to sit down again, step over. And now we're doing the step over. You can add the hover as well. Step, little hover. Step and a hover. Step and hover. Good work. As you're doing this, if you can manage it looking forward rather than at the floor, try and keep your chest lifted in that lovely tall spine. Great. Okay, then stop on the spot, just tap your toes out, have a little shimmy round of your shoulders. Nice work. Okay, I'm going to turn my back to you now, and we're going to play with working around the chair, possibly in a U shape. Okay, so just watch if you want to keep tapping the feet. So we go down the side of the chair, tap, side, tap, and then across the back of the chair. So this means you can hold on to the chair the whole time. If you find that doing a big step isn't quite big enough space over the chair, either take more steps or just don't go around the chair. Alright, march it out. Did you want to have a go with the U?
Yep.
Alright, I'll go with my back to you and Steph can be. We'll see if we can crash.
Wow. No, we won't
Let's
crash.
start on this side and we'll go in that direction. Ready, slowly go. Step and forward. Come back to the other side and forward. So if you want to make this harder, you're trying to add the little hover after each step. Back, hover.
I'm taking 2 steps, it works.
Great. You could also add the big step in here. Woo! You keep on going. I'm just going to move my chair. Well done. All right. So when you finish that U shape, pause where you are, Steph, and just hold nice and still here with your feet close together. Get that lovely lift up through your whole body, and you hold on to the chair as much as you need. So let's do our first practice with a balance. And in fact, I'll turn the music down. We'll move into a little balance section now. So you might need 10 fingers on the chair. In this first position with your feet steady together. Some of you might manage to come through to 8 fingers. How's you counting? 6? It doesn't have to be precise. See what it feels like with 2 fingers on each hand. And if you're a bit wobbly there that you don't feel you can keep your balance, then go back to more fingers. Some of you might manage to 1 finger or even no fingers. In every different position we try, you just work through till you feel you've got a little bit of a challenge with as many fingers as you need. Okay, great. All right, so let's now try doing the semi-tandem. So these ones, the positions you did last week, I'm just going to add in an extra little challenge while we're there. So the semi-tandem is 1 foot slightly in front of the other, kind of tucked in around the ball. To get the weight steady in both feet, notice which foot you have in front, because we'll do the other one in a moment. Okay, weight in both feet. do the work through how many fingers you need. Great. Okay. So what we're going to do now is write your name in space. So I'm right-handed, I'm starting with my right hand and holding on with the other hand as much as I need. So ready when you go, big letters. The more flourishing you make your letters, the harder your balance will be. If I reach over here, it makes it a bit harder. Good work.
Hey, I've got a long name.
You're still going, you're just going for the full version.
Yep.
So then change hands, same feet, but change hands and see how you go going with your left hand. And try and follow with your eyes the letters and see if that makes it too wobbly, then go back to just keeping your eyes still. Yeah? So from now on, you choose if you want to use your normal writing hand, which is a bit easier, or your left one, which will be a bit harder. Okay? Let's change feet. So put the other foot in front. Get steady, maybe soften the knees to begin, feel the weight in both feet. Stand quite tall and strong. Feel a bit like your legs are hugging together. Okay? Then choose which hand you're going to go with. And this time, I want you to write someone else's name. Off we go.
I was going to do the short version of my name.
Oh, maybe I'm doing that.
Now I'm doing yours.
So you can add a big at the end if you wanted a challenge. Now try doing that name backwards. Don't worry if you spell it incorrectly or your letters go wonky. It's just this trying to do something else with our brains while we're trying to balance. Going backwards was definitely felt a bit weird, but my balance was pretty good.
Yeah, my balance was
Okay.
good too. I was so worried about spelling your name backwards correctly that.
So don't worry if you don't get the spelling right. Let's change now to the tandem. So put one foot right in front and just see how that feels. So for some people, maybe your knees or hips aren't going to agree with this and you keep your feet a little bit wider. Otherwise, it's like you're on a tightrope. Okay. Feeling steady into both feet, sensing how much of the chair you need to hold on to. All right. Get your writing hand ready. I'm going to go left. You choose. Look at the top of your finger, and if that's already too much, you need to hold on more with the other hand or not move your eyes, okay? Let's try writing the word balance. Oh, I already made a mistake, but that doesn't matter, just... Beautiful. So it doesn't have to be precise printing or writing, it's just the act of doing something else with your eyes, your head and your brain that helps then put our balance hopefully into automatic. So it's a nice kind of little game to play while you're doing your balance. Do it backwards. Can you spell balance backwards? Oh.
We don't need the letters backwards, do we?
Don't stop too much to try and get it precise. Just keep going. I do believe I made a spelling error.
Oh, let's see out.
Okay, I put the C in the wrong place. Change feet. So we're on the final one now. This is the tandem on the other foot, and sometimes one foot will feel quite different to the other. So take your time to settle in and make different adjustments if you need for left and right. How much of the chair do you need? Which is your writing hand for this one? We'll go with left again. So Steph's she's closer into the chair so she can hold on. The word this time is steady.
What about cat? Oh no.
Oh no, cat's too small, that's too easy. You can write whatever word you want actually, but I like the big loopy letters like the Y on the end. Okay, reclaim your balance and try and do that one backwards. Steady, backwards. Great. Now, I didn't say, but hopefully you weren't trying to watch us while you were doing that. You were just watching your own writing. If you were just concentrating and learning and watching us, then you can go back and do it some other time and really just work on using your own hand. So, last couple of breaths just to pause in that final tandem with no writing, no spelling backwards, just feeling into your feet and take a nice good breath in and out. Well done.
Hard work.
Okay. So So we'll do some heel and toe raises this time. Steph might like to sit down, but she might again come and stand up and sit down as we go. So some of it's strength work, strengthening the muscles in the back of your leg and the front, and other times it's a little bit more focused on the balance. So where are we? Let's try with the music again. Okay. So last week you did I believe, the heel raise. So let's try that again, lifting heels up and heels down. And again, up. Trying to lift your heels nice and high towards the back of your knees or your bottom. Try a couple faster, see how that goes. So holding on to the chair if you're standing as we just warm up a bit more and start to strengthen your calf. In fact, I can already find mine getting a bit tired.
And I'm just leaning a little bit onto my thighs to make it a bit more resistant.
Okay.
So that adds some intensity to the work.
All right, and then pause. You bend your knees a bit if you're standing. So that was a repeat of what we did last week. Now let's try doing the front of your feet. They're called toe raises. So lower and lift. Again, doesn't matter if you're not in time with me. Just lift and lower the fronts of your feet. Lift and lower. Good work. So really feeling the fronts of your legs get going.
I can feel it just sitting down.
Try a couple of those ones a bit faster. Pull and lower the fronts of your feet. Great. Okay. So now we're going to try doing each of those as a balance exercise, and after we've done that we'll go back and do the final strength stuff to really tire them out. So let's try the heel raise first, which is lifting your heels or raising your heels off the ground. That's probably why it's called the heel raise.
I would say
Very
so.
inventive name. So here is where you go down through your fingers. So down as in least fingers holding on if you can, where you maybe feel that little bit challenged. Possibly you can look at something in front of you rather than at the floor. Keep kind of squeezing your heels and raising them up towards your bottom. And let's come down nice and slow and steady. Ooh, well done. Okay, so let's do a couple more lift and lower to finish them off. So hold on to the chair and just lift and lower, really finishing off and tiring out the calves. So less about balance and more about finishing off with the strength. 3, 2, and you hold the last one for a moment and then go down even slower. It's like a slow race. Ooh, great song, well done, and let that go. Fantastic, okay. So now back to the other one, which was the heel raise, which is where, sorry, the toe raise, the toes or the fronts of your feet come off the floor. So if I'm side on, I've got a windowsill I can hang on to here, they're off. That's it.
Gosh, you can really feel that, can't you, in your shins?
Okay, so now we're coming to balance, so see if you can hold on a little bit less. And I noticed different shoes feel quite different for this exercise. Also quite different if you were even doing this work in bare feet, so just pay attention to how it feels for you. And if you're on carpet or hard floor, it'll feel quite different too. You're still managing to hold? Nice. This one's quite good to do with something like a windowsill or a wall behind you as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So I'm getting quite tired here at the end. How about you?
Yeah, but I'm holding on, so it's a bit easier for me.
All right. And now let's slowly lower down. All right, so now we're going to finish off. Pop the right foot in front and tapping. So we're repeating the toe raise. And Steph and I are going to have a bit of a race. We're not really competitive though, are we?
No, not at all.
Are you ready? On your marks, get set fast as you can. We'll see who runs out first. I'm just feeling like I'm running out of steam.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're getting stuck and you can't push anymore, okay, let's see if we can do 3 really big slow ones and then finish off with another sprint. Go 3, 2, 1, fast, go. I'm not sure there's much fast left in there.
You know what you can do as well?
Yeah.
Go out and in.
Ooh.
And that really finishes it off. Oh!
Yeah, I think we're done there.
Oh, that's-
well done.
Yeah.
So really good to challenge yourself a little bit, going to that bit where you do feel things are getting tired, but you could do that little bit more. Well done. Let's try the other foot. So just start with your pumps. I don't need the chair here, do I? So you're either sitting, standing, holding the chair, holding on to something else, and really waking up the front of the leg. Or in fact, we've probably done the wake up. We're on the finish off. On your marks. Get set, pump. Foot to the floor. Remember, this one's called the toe raise exercise, so as equally as you're pushing hard to the floor, try and pull the toes hard up towards your knee.
The sleep doesn't want to do it.
We're both on our left foot. We're kind of probably mirror imaging you. You might be on your right, so you might go faster than us. All right, let's do those 3 big ones. Exaggerate. 3, 2, 1, fast. And this is where Steph added the option of doing the side to side.
Make it harder. Why would we do that?
Oh, I get the giggles sometimes when I do this one, because it's just such a really weird, ridiculous feeling, isn't it? Oh, okay, fantastic. Rightio, pause that music, walk right in. We're now going to do a 30-second sit to stand challenge. Now this is also new for you from what we did last week. So you need to start sitting, and I'm going to come to sitting as well. So always around the front of you, slow, sit down, use your hands if you need. And I'm in charge of the timer here, so let's see how we go.
Oh, 2 things at once. Timer
Yes.
and music. Oh my goodness.
We shall do this with no music.
I'm going to keep my hands
So
on
the
my
idea
knees.
is, I push go on the timer, and after 30 seconds it'll beep at us. When you're doing your sit to stand, you count them. So you might do just 2 the first time you ever do this, and then as you go through it with time, hopefully you're able to build up the strength in your legs and able to do more.
So can I do 2, then have a rest and do another 2?
You could do that if you need to. If you need a rest, really just keep checking in with yourself, see how tired you feel. Yeah?
Yep.
Safety is important though. If you feel so tired that you're not able to do it very well, just pause and have a
What
rest.
about if I get a bit dizzy if I go fast?
I would say that's a good time to sit down and stay still. Take a breath and let the dizziness pass. Yeah, don't carry on if you're dizzy. Okay, are you dizzy?
No.
No, okay.
I'm fine.
Ready? Pause. See how many you can do in 30 seconds. Go. Count for yourself. So if you can, ideally your hands are in front. And you always do them the same way.
Even if you have to go really slowly, try not to use your hands. Remember to push into your heels. So Kash is not competitive at all.
Maybe a little bit. We're over halfway. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, certainly gets you warm, doesn't it?
And I forgot to count. So does that
That
mean we
happens
need
to
to
the
do it
best of
again?
us. I'm just proving and able to stop my phone. Done.
How many did you do?
If that's a secret, that's my private sit to stand information. So keep the number in your head, or some people like to write it down, maybe pop it in your diary if you use one. Then you have another way of remembering how many you did for next time.
And if you can do 1 or 2 more, even 1 more each week, it's a good indication that you're getting stronger in your legs, or maybe your cardiovascular fitness is improving, because using those big muscles really gives your heart some work. So it's good to just keep a record of it.
Yeah, we try and scatter these through other classes that we do, so people have a good check in every now and then. All right, we're going to do the rear leg raise now. So if you're sitting like Steph is, you might like to, you can explain that.
So I'm just using a piece of paper. This happens to be laminated paper. It doesn't have to be. You could use anything that slides on the carpet. If you've got a wooden floor, just be careful that the little particles of dust and the sliding paper don't scratch the floor. That's happened to me before in a hall I was using. So carpet, ideal. If you've got wooden floor, your foot should slide.
Yeah. So, and you're not pushing super hard with the foot. All right, so let's see if I can manage some music again. So this is a repeat of an exercise you did in that first class with Steph. If you haven't done it before or you can't remember, I'm standing side onto you, and let's go with the left foot goes back behind, sorry, your right foot. Get we're mirror imaging you. Slips in behind the other. Doesn't matter which foot, one foot. Toe to heel, and then stand really tall. Okay? So, Steph, you added instructions for the seated.
Yeah, I'm sitting right at the front of the chair so that I can get my foot a little bit further back, and I'm actually holding the chair and bracing through the middle of my body.
So the leg's going to go press back and in. Press back. So trying to have the foot keep going in line with the other foot so it doesn't go on of its own mind off to the side. You have to control it. Feel the strength in your back, helping keep you as upright as possible. Really push back through the heel. So this is the rear leg raise. So the leg that Spark is doing the lifting, feeling the strength right down the leg there. Good, right, let's just do a couple more on this leg. And you'll probably find, like I am, the leg you're standing on is getting a bit tired too if you're doing the standing version. See if you can do those last couple, push a little bit further back. We'll do one where we hold it there just for a moment. You're standing nice and tall and strong through that back heel. Do a couple of little pulses. 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly come down. Well, okay, you definitely feel that in the leg. Okay, I'm going to go front on so I can look into the camera and get a crook neck if I do that. Too many on the side. So do your other leg. Weight into that front leg, toe behind the heel of the other foot.
For the seated version, just bring your foot back beside the other one. You don't need to bring it into the heel. We do that so you don't swing your leg.
Yes.
But that's not a problem when you're doing it like this.
So rather than swinging the leg, we're going really nice and controlled. Hopefully you can feel how much more muscular effort you need to do that rather than just flopping your leg around. More strong and steady back. Right, okay. A few more at this pace. Really feel your way in through the back of your heel. And you might have the sense too, you're getting a bit of support around your torso, maybe like your belly button's pulling into your spine. How does it go without
So
that?
I'm just having to lift a little bit more. And in actual fact, if you have to lift the leg, makes you work harder on that first little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe you use a slider if it's a bit much for you, or you use a slider for the first part. So I'm having to lift because these shoes won't slide.
Yeah.
Pretty as they are, they don't slide.
If you're doing this standing version, one more thing about the leg you're standing on, if you start to feel like you're collapsing out through the hip, pause and kind of hug your hips in, and we'll go back 3 more times, and then we'll do that little pause like we did on the other leg, so you get even 2 more. And 1. Now hold it out there, do a couple of little pulses, try and still have the foot so the toes are pointing to the front. 3, 2, 1, and slowly in. Good work. Lovely. Alright, just turn the volume down a bit, give your legs a bit of a wiggle round.
I have to say that doing it without the slide is way harder. So maybe we start with something to slide and then we move to actually having to lift, or maybe a bit of both. Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll do a balance exercise. So Steph might like to come up for this one, because this is where we're going to put into action what we did in the warm-up, which was walking heel-toe, going forwards, and toe-heel back. Now if you've got something like a windowsill here, which is what Steph could use,
Yeah.
that would be perfect. I've just got my chair here, so maybe I won't do as many steps, so I feel nice and safe. If you're doing it at home, you could use a hallway or something, okay? So first of all, we'll just go forwards, turn around, and then come back. So we're just doing the forwards one, so take 1 foot heel toe. And as you're starting, you might have your feet about hip width apart. Pause, and then maybe turn around. Hold on to the chair, just shuffle your feet around. Go back, and now going again heel to toe each time. Work. Now as you start feeling more confident with that, and you just turn around whenever you run out of space and need to, don't wait for us, you might feel like Steph's doing now, the heel is actually touching the toe in front. It's a little bit like a tightrope walk without the risk of the tightrope.
Without Niagara Falls.
Turn around. We're still just doing the forwards ones. So some of you will be doing it with your feet maybe a little bit wider if you can. You're doing one in front of the other. And as you can see, Steph's demonstrating beautifully. She's gazing straight ahead and keeping a lovely posture. Good. And then the next thing is to hold on a bit less. Maybe you have your hands out in front. Okay. Alright. So let's pause there. The next challenge, if you choose to take it, is to try doing them backwards. So now going backwards, and if you start going toe heel and it's too wobbly, either hold on more or keep your feet a little bit wider. So now as you're going backwards, you feel we're going toe heel. So turn around again. Toe heel.
And it needs to be slow, doesn't it?
Yes.
Otherwise you end up doing this ridiculous little mincy kind of silly walk.
And you see when we do it really slowly, you have that little balance pause in between where you're holding just on one foot. Alright, so one more time just doing the backwards, and then we'll see if we can go forwards and then backwards without turning around. Okay, just assess how much you need to hold on, and then do a few in each direction. So go forwards, and then when you run out of space, straight away go backwards. Touch, toe heel, roll through the foot. So when you're going backwards, you're rolling through the foot, toe heel, toe heel. And then as you come forwards, heel toe, so feel through the foot.
Check you're in the frame.
I might have wandered myself so far forward I no longer have a head.
You're in the frame.
We're still amateur videoers. Is video is even a word? We're not even sure what we are, but we're trying hard. Okay.
YouTubers.
YouTubers.
The back of the sofa works really well too.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice height.
And this is one of those exercises that if you can slip a couple into every day, that will really help your balance improve. So we're doing a little bit of balance work every day. So while you're doing this last little bit, think about where is somewhere in your house. Is it alongside the breakfast bar, in the hall, the back of the couch? Choose where it's going to be.
Not where there's a table in the way, like a little hall table or grandma's bars.
No, a safe space. And then try and do that a couple of times every day. Holding on only as much as you really need, so you feel that it's a little bit challenging. Okay. I think we've just about exhausted this exercise today. That's great. So I'm going to do some standing leg stretches now. We'll do calves and hamstrings. Now, remember we use those muscles quite a lot. So let's start with one foot back behind you. Bend the front leg and straighten the back one, and then Steph's doing a seated version of it by pushing that leg back and behind her. So we're trying to stretch out the lower leg at the back. Really push back in through the heel. So our strength and balance work for the legs mostly over now. Just kind of cooling things down a little bit. Now when you're standing, you can then bend into the back leg. It's a bit difficult to do both versions of that when you're doing the seated one.
I'll just give mine a little rub.
Give it a rub, that's a good idea. Alright, so with the feet in the same position, now we're going to do hamstring. So holding on, now you bend the back leg and straighten that front leg even more. Feel like your bottom's pushing back and lift your chest up. How does it feel? See, Steph's got her toes pulled up. If you weren't already, try that now and see how it changes the stretch. Maybe you reach your chest a little bit further forward. I don't have to go any further to feel that stretch. Right, sorry, yeah, in the back of your leg. Okay, slowly change. Legs, sorry, we'll start with the calf. So straight leg at the back now and bent at the front. The other foot. Pressing right down through the back heel.
So seated you can't actually stretch the big bulky muscle. You're only stretching the one that runs up the back of your heel because you've got to do that with a bent leg. So that's okay though. If you don't want to stand and do that one, a little bit of extra stretching on the bent's okay.
And now I've come into the bent one in the standing version.
So now I'm rubbing my big bulky gastrocnemius muscle because I couldn't stretch it sitting down. That's okay.
And then we switch into the strings, your hamstrings at the back of your leg, so straight in the front leg. Lift the toes, press your bottom back and your chest forward and hold on. So your body feels supported so it can let you have a good amount of stretch.
And when you do this, don't lean on your knee, particularly the straight leg. Come back a little bit onto your thigh and then you get a good support.
Well done. Alright, so that's more of the back of the legs. Let's try and open up the front of your hip now. I'm going to do a standing version and it's a little bit more difficult in the chair, but we'll see how Steph goes, huh? So take one foot in front and one foot behind, and let's go with both legs bent. If you do it, how about I go side on this way? So bend down in the knees, hold on nice and steady, and then kind of tuck your tail underneath you, and this back hip should open up a little bit. Just do your best there to feel some length from the knee kind of up towards your belly. How you going?
Yeah, I find this okay to do, but you do need to hold on to the back of the chair and the front of the chair. It's a really good stretch to get into, but if you think you can't get out of it, then try not to do it. When we do the other side, I'll show you a different version.
So let's see how you safely get out of that.
So I would put my bottom right on, and then I would shimmy around to the other side, holding the back of the chair, but I'll show you a different one where you can just do it here.
Off the side more rather than
The side. Still holding on though, because we've got sturdy chairs, so you're okay. And then if you want to do what Kasha's doing, you can lean back a little bit and you definitely feel it.
And as you're leaning back, be mindful if you feel any pinching in the back off a little bit and feel more like your tail goes down to then lift and lean back nice and steady.
And actually in the chair, even that will give you a little bit of a stretch.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you don't want to go side on, you can just do it like that.
Or for some people it works when you're lying down in bed. Lie on your side. Alright, well done. We're going to sit down now and have a play with some core exercises, which means really working the muscles from your ribs down in the front, back and side. So I was just pausing to demonstrate sitting down very slowly. As you get more familiar with our sit to stand exercises and strong and stable, try and remember during the day to sit down and stand up nice and slow and steady whenever you get up for a cup of tea or something. Okay?
Always with your feet hip distance apart, not like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm going to do now for something else, is to bring my feet together, because it makes it less stable. When you want to be really stable, your feet are apart. So I'm going to try them together. You can have them apart if you want. Try and sit up tall so you're not leaning into the back of the chair. And we're simply going to try taking your ribs side to side. So let's take them over this way. And then bring them back. And then to the other side. Now, this is a little bit odd. It's almost like you're trying to get your ribs to separate from your hips. So the hips stay in one place and the ribs slide off to the side. Like those magic shows I used to love when I was a kid.
It's like those books.
Managed to slip.
Yeah, those books that have different pictures of different people, and you open half the book at one time, half the top and the bottom, and you get people in a suit matched up with a ballerina.
Okay, so whatever side you're leaning over to now, pause there, and if you feel unsteady at all, a good idea to hold on to the chair, yeah? We're trying here to use the muscles down the side of the body to hold you in this awkward position to strengthen them up a little bit. So as you're leaning out one side and you're pushing the ribs out, this side of your body's holding on really tight so you don't lean over or fall over. Good work. And then come back to the middle and have a wriggle round as you need, but try and get yourself really tall again. Sometimes when you get tired doing an exercise, you kind of just shrink down into yourself. So from a really tall place, poke your ribs out the other side, feet together, and if you notice you're really leaning over, try and come back and get the weight even in your hips, because that's a different exercise. Okay, now if you wanted to add a little bit more here, Steph can reach towards me and I reach towards the wall. Adds a little bit more weight, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
A bit
does.
harder.
And it does make it easier if you put your feet apart, so
Yeah.
that could be another option.
Yeah. So every exercise, just as you practice it a few different times, just keep playing with your options. Good work. Okay, so now we'll try moving forward and back. So we use more of the muscles in the front and then the back. So perhaps if I go side on, beep, beep, beep. So if we do going backwards first, you might need to come a bit further forward in your chair to give yourself space. Try and tuck your belly back, and now move your low ribs, pull them backwards and let your head come forward. So your back goes rounded. You might feel a bit like your tail. Did you know you have a tail? Your tail's slip between your legs. And now try and hold on really strongly. So you haven't just collapsed, you're actually trying to tighten the front of your body and pull it back really strong and steady. We'll just hold this for a little bit longer. And you notice the weight of your head here too. So a bit of support from the hands, but unlike where we do a stretch, we're not actually pushing with the hands, we're pulling strong with our torso muscles. Okay, see how tall and steady you can get when you come out of that, sitting really tall. Soften your shoulders down. Woo! Relax the shoulders a bit. Good, okay. Now the opposite, lean your ribs forward, try and poke them forward and stick your bottom back. And now you want to feel the back muscles really strengthening. So the back muscles are shortening up a bit to hold you there. Right. Just check that your neck is feeling okay with that. You want to tuck the chin in a little bit. Maybe open the chest a little more. And then just see if you can adjust it any more. Maybe you can lean back a little bit. And come back to the middle. And now after holding positions for a while, you might feel a little bit kind of stiff. So let's move through each of those positions to finish it off. So take the ribs towards the right or your left, doesn't matter. Come back to the middle and go to the other side. And now we'll try going back. So from the middle, go back. Come up really tall and go forward. Well done. So after that strengthening and holding, now we're going to do it as a bit of a stretch. So lean out just a little bit, not so far this time, and reach your opposite arm up. Now look up if that feels okay and see how much length you can get in that side of the body so it becomes a bit more of a bend. I'd suggest the other hand hold on to the chair. And if you feel you want more there, perhaps reach over your head a little bit. Just kind of bending the body. Maybe you can imagine now you're bending your spine a little bit. Ooh. Big breath in to finish that side. And slowly come down. And do the other side. So I'm going to lean out a little bit, lift up, oops, sitting on my dress. Up we go. Now, I really love stretching, so I've got to watch I don't hijack our session and turn it from strength and balance into just a stretch session. We're nearly done here. Reach maybe over a little bit more, just to where you're feeling safe enough that you can get a bit of opening down that side of your body and slowly come back. Great. Okay. So then we went backwards with control, but to get a bit more stretch in between the back of the body and the shoulder blades, you can put your hands down here. You could even see if you can get your spine towards the back of the chair, tuck the bottom underneath you, maybe the head down more can make a difference. That's it. And possibly hands between your legs. Squeeze your knees in. Ooh, that's good. So hands reaching forward, spine reaching back, and sit back up. So we've stretched the sides and the back. Now we're going to stretch the front. So ribs forward again, lift your chest, and really feel like you're trying to open up the space at the bottom of your ribs where all your breathing apparatus sits. Give it lots of space. So it might feel a bit tight because you're stretching it out, but we're really just giving an opportunity to open up there. Tuck the chin in, one more big breath. Come up to sitting. Shoulders a couple of rolls. Well done. And the other way. Now if you have any questions about what we're doing, because we're not there with you, the best way to reach out is to use the contact details that come with the video. Might be our emails or our phone numbers. Have an awesome day.
Yes, I feel ready to go now. It's only taken 45 minutes.
Give yourselves a clap. Thank you.